So here we go. We are live in the studios. Welcome, my producer and call screener Habit. We are here this evening just for you. And we hope that you are joining us live right now. Lots of things going on in healthcare as we speak, as we know. First, let's start off with the coronavirus boosters, the new boosters. They have been available now for a little over a week. They actually released them the Thursday before the Labor Day holiday, but they knew that the holiday was going to slow down, pick up, and things that were going to happen. So that's what they're going to do now. So what we're going to do is advise you, they're readily available now. The new vaccine booster is a bivalent vaccine. It covers the original coronavirus and it covers the new Omicron variant. There's a 50-50 split between the coverage, but the total dose is still the same. The total dose is still the same for the Pfizer as well as the Moderna. Again, the Moderna, I think of the two choices, is the best option, but Pfizer isn't bad either. You can get by with both choices. There will no longer be the old school boosters, which are basically just another dose of the same vaccine. So this is how you qualify. If you've had at least 2 starter doses, that's 2 doses of the Pfizer or 2 doses of the Moderna original vaccine, then the next dose that you get will be a new bivalent booster. If you have not had any injections up to this point, or if you've only had 1 of the original vaccines, then you're going to get another dose of the original vaccines, at which point you are labeled and designated as fully vaccinated. Then you qualify for a booster. Now, it is said that if you have recently had COVID, that you should wait to get the next booster up to a period of 3 months. The reason why is that when you have had and recuperated from the disease, you make natural antibodies. Your natural immunity then gives you the best option that you can have. If you give a booster while you're still creating natural immunity, these two things may compete and mute the body's natural immune response. So the recommendation is that you wait at least a month after recuperating, but possibly and probably up to 3 months. So what this will do, and what Dr. Collier is recommending, is that you wait until just before the Thanksgiving holidays. That way you'll be boosted, say, the first week, second week of November. As you start to attend holiday gatherings and you start to be in large groups, then you will be fully vaccinated and protected as best as you can be if you choose to participate in those types of events. So that is where we are with this problem and process right now. That's how you get your boosters. Also, people have asked me, Dr. Collier, can I get a cancer screening test? And I would respond, there is no cancer screening test. What they are available are genetic testing to determine if you have a genetic predisposition for certain types of cancers. But it is not a yes or a no answer. If the test comes back positive, it just says that you are genetically predisposed, that you should eat healthier, that you should get more rest, that you should monitor. And if it's a cancer that is being screened for, like breast cancer, colon cancer, prostate cancer, you make sure that you get your screening test on time and in a timely fashion. So that was yesterday. Dr. Collier attended a medical meeting and was talking to various doctors to find out that there is absolutely new technology available. That new technology will allow you to actually test for up to 50 different cancers. This test is recommended for those that are 50 or older. And in that circumstance, or if you have a family history, of course, you can get it at any point. So what you would like to do is to make sure that you have that test and get it screened. That test, Google or go to the internet and Google blood tests for cancer screenings. And there are at least 2 types that I saw that were recommended. But the one specifically that tests, it does what's called out of capsule DNA testing. And there are certain type of DNA fragments that are present in various types of cancers that can give you a strict and complete yes or no answer. And they have about a 70 to 80% accuracy. So if it says you have that cancer, chances are that you actually do have that cancer. So we want to make sure that that is not a problem for you, or that is not an issue for you. So there are cancer screening tests that are available now. This is going to change the cancer paradigm, because most cancers that aren't being screened for, and that's 70% of cancers, are the ones that result in ultimately in your death. They're the ones that by the time the diagnosis is made, you're already stage 4, particularly something like pancreatic cancer. Most of the time when a person gets it, they're already late stage, because you don't have any symptoms until you do have symptoms. And once you do that, it is a problem. So I think that Again, this is something that you can get great screenings for. It will enhance your lifestyle. It will answer that question from that perspective. So that is our update for this evening, and we're going to start greeting you. I want everybody to let me know, remember who you are and where you're logging in from. So we want north, south, east, and west. Shirley Myrick watching from South Florida. South Florida. All right. Thank you, Shirley. We appreciate you. Now we got the South. We are now Midwest. We got Sherry Gamble from Dallas. Everything big in Texas. Sean Big Time Green, my #1 fan. I love you, Sean. Thank you so much. From Monroe, LA. Louisiana. Good evening. Watching from St. Louis, Missouri. Sarah Davis, we are great. We appreciate you. Miss Makiba Boland from Douglasville, local area. Thank you, Makiba, for tuning in as well. Chili Will, what's good, Chili? We appreciate you for tuning in as well. Tashara Ireland, good evening from Douglasville. Thank you so much. Local. Okay, Riley from Florida. Stay safe, will do. Try to stay COVID free and then some. CL Turner from Baton Rouge in Louisiana. We got Louisiana in the house. Rachel Harris of New Orleans is in the house. Thank you, Rachel. We appreciate you. And then some. Shara ain't taking no more shit either, Wallace. I love that. From Miami. Denise Irby from Massachusetts. Dr. Kaya didn't make that up. That's her name. Okay, Winnie King from Terrell, Texas. Thank you, Winnie. We appreciate you tuning in as well. Faith Ann Collins, good evening from Detroit. Thank you, Faith Ann. We appreciate you. AJ McCallum from Orlando, Florida. All right, Orlando is rocking. I lived in Orlando for a year. Pamela Miller from Riverdale, Georgia. Thank you, Pam. We appreciate you. Lakeisha Cook McLean. Keisha from Baltimore, Maryland. Jada Thrash from Griffin, Georgia. I'm presuming that's Griffin, Georgia. Marilyn Pope Johnson from ATL. ATL is in the house. Thank you. Crystal Jones from Jackson, Mississippi. I hope your water situation is straightened out in Jackson. Loretta McNair, South Carolina. Thank you so much, Loretta. We appreciate you. Michelia A. Magruder from Boston, Mass. Okay. Angel Hale from B-More. Thank you, Angel, for tuning in as well. We got a lot of Baltimore. Roger Craighead from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Steel City, you got the home of the Twin Cities, the river, whatever they call it. Melville Sears from Florence, Alabama. We love it. Ernest from Rock Hill, South Carolina. We appreciate you tuning in as always. You and Big Time Green, Sean Green. You all right with me? Sonia Valerie from Miami, Florida. Roll Tide. Go, Sonia. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you. And we hope to that you get some great information from this show. This is your opportunity to ask your healthcare questions. This is your opportunity to ask the doctor. This is what we like. This is what we want. This is what we need. We need direct communication that is effective to answer your healthcare questions. And listen, act upon what I suggest to you. You can also Google more information on the internet. That is a decent source of healthcare information, but don't get all of your healthcare information from Dr. Google. Okay, there are other things that because the information there depends upon the question that you ask, depends upon how you ask it, and it will lead you down a primrose path depending upon your answers. So you can lead yourself to an incorrect answer, even though you may think that is right. And so that's why having one-to-one, face-to-face communication is the most effective way to get your healthcare information. So let's get to it. All right, Havoc, we want to get to it. Sean Big Time Green, should I get my flu shot before I get my second booster? Highly recommend that you get your flu shot now. The flu season is starting already. And even though they're recommending that you can get your flu shot and your corona booster at the same time, they're saying get one in each arm. Dr. Collier is not recommending that because why challenge your immune system that way? I want my immune system to respond to the flu vaccine and make the best flu antibodies that they can make. And then I want to get my booster. So you can get your booster. I would get my flu shot now in real time. And again, I would wait for my booster to maybe the latter portion of October, November. And that's when you be best covered and have your highest immune function during the Christmas holidays. And the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays, a holiday season when people are gathering and you're going to be in a lot of group circumstances and situations. So that's where we are with that. Okay. Crystal Jones, do you have to do the intermittent fasting every day along with the Lipodrops in order for the drops to work? Or can I fast just 2 or 3 days a week? I've heard women shouldn't fast every day. Well, intermittent fasting is not fasting. Fasting proper is not eating anything, whereas intermittent fasting is just not eating except for a certain 8-hour period. You do not have to do intermittent fasting at all using the Lipodrops. The Lipodrops will work independently. They will just work better if you do either intermittent fasting or a a 5 meal a day eating plan. That means breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And when you do the breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you go to and then you eat a snack in between breakfast and lunch, a snack in between lunch and dinner, possibly a third snack. So you're eating 5 to 6 times per day. What happens then is your body never gets into a hunger situation, and you don't overeat. Your body also recognizes that you don't need to store food as fuel because you have food coming in every 3 to 4 hours. So once your body recognizes that, and that process takes about 2 weeks, then all of a sudden, not only will it stop storing food, it will let go of the food that it has already stored, which is predominantly in the form of fat. And because it would rather have fresh fuel or food to fuel itself versus trying to convert fat into active fuel. That process is one your body does not like to do. And so it is easier to do that. So those are the two diet mechanisms that I like to utilize. Both of them alter your metabolism. What the Lipodrops does is alter your body's response to and how you're metabolizing foods, particularly fats, so that you're not storing those foods. You're more efficiently and effectively metabolizing fat, so you don't store the fat and you lose weight. So go to the website lipodrops.com, get more information on how to lose weight. Remember, there are multiple products that you can get, and the objective will be how much you want to lose, number one. Number two, how quickly you want to lose it. And number three, how much you're willing to invest in your weight loss, because more products is more of a financial investment, but you lose more quicker. I tell people you can lose as little as 5 to 10 pounds per month. You can lose as much as 15 to 20, depending upon how aggressive a plan you choose. And you'll get that information on the Lipodrops website. Okay, next question. Can I take something natural for hypothyroidism other than the medication levothyroxine? There are no natural thyroid supplements, unfortunately, but there are better thyroid supplements or replacements than the levothyroxine. Levothyroxine or Synthroid is a synthetic thyroid replacement product. It is the number one most prescribed, but it's not the best. There is a thyroid product called Nature Throid. That's nature, just like it sounds, Throid, Throid. That is absolutely wonderful. There's a product called Armor that I really like because the active thyroid hormone is T3. The thyroid is T3 and T4. T4 is inactive thyroid hormone. It has to be converted to T3 before it does you any good. Some people's body does that very efficiently and effectively. Other people's bodies do not. You can cut out the middleman by just getting the T3 or a mixture of the T4 and T3, so that regardless of whether your body converts it or not, you'll still have enough T3 to accomplish your objective. So when you have low thyroid, it makes you gain weight, it makes you sluggish, it makes you lethargic, it makes your brain not function as actively as it can. And so that is a problem that we're having. So I think that it would be good to when you're replacing your thyroid, one, to optimize your thyroid replacement. Thyroid hormones have a range of normal. If this is low and this is high, and everything between my hands is normal, then you want to make sure that you're at minimum in the middle of that range. Optimally, you want to be on the high side of normal, not on the low side of normal. So that is what we would try to do in replacing your thyroid. So in replacing thyroid, it's one of those things that is not done as effectively by most doctors. And so you want to make sure that you tell your doctor you want this to be optimized and not just get you in the range of normal in doing so. So there we are. That next question, Ablet. I just recently found out that my B1 is low, and what type of effect does it have on the body? I have to start taking vitamin B shot. What milligram is best? 1,000 milligrams. 1,000 micrograms, rather, MCGs, is the standard injection dose. And that is the most effective way to obtain vitamin B, because oral vitamin B is digested by the stomach and not absorbed well. So the next option would be taking a dose, either a liquid B that goes under your tongue or a dissolvable tablet that goes under your tongue. Absorbing it under the tongue is just as effective as taking an injection. So that is, again, what we recommend that you would do for that in doing so. So this is, okay, AJ McCullum, what is your opinion for the best form of weight loss surgery? Again, I think that the best one that I recommend, mostly there are two types basically. Your traditional gastric bypass surgery, which is one that yeah, which is one of the ways that you can get it done. But the most effective is the gastric sleeve. The gastric sleeve procedure takes your stomach, which usually when you're overweight stretches to about the size of a 2-liter Coca-Cola bottle. It folds it down to about the size of a banana. So you have less absorptive area to absorb less calories. And so that is why that is effective. Now, and it is also less invasive than gastric bypass. If you get a full and complete gastric bypass, it changes your body's chemistry and your body's plumbing. And it's very difficult to recuperate from that and to adjust to it. Some people have, if they eat too much or eat the wrong foods, they get immediate onset of explosive diarrhea. That means they can't go to restaurants and eat because before they finish their meal, they have to get up and run to the toilet. And like most restaurants, one, it has to be a bathroom that's available. Two, it has to be one that's clean enough for you to be willing to utilize in the public setting. So there we go. I think that that would be a situation there in doing so. Thank you, AJ. Okay, Brenda Krosky. What I think about Saxena for weight loss? Saxena was the first generation of injectable weight loss products. The Saxena has to be injected on a daily basis. It does work, and you go up from a starting dose of 0.6 to up to 1.8 or 2.4 milligrams on a daily basis. That molecule has been tweaked from the perspective, and there are new products out. One called Ozempic, one called Wegovy, which is the same drug with different names, and then one now called Manjaro. They only once a week injections. They work better. They result in greater weight loss and usually better covered than the Saxena is for the weight loss. So, but Saxena is a good option as well. Again, it was the first generation of this type of therapy. They just have created better and better molecules that work quicker, more effectively, get more weight off you in a shorter period of time. Okay. Okay, I have relentless chocolate cravings. Me too. And chocolate actually is good for you. The darker, the better. And with nuts. Does this mean I'm lacking some type of vitamin? No, it just means you like chocolate. Chocolate is good antioxidant. It works wonderfully. Just don't, you just got to make sure that the number of calories that you're taking in does not create a problem. Okay. Michelle Magruder, there's a bad body odor that's in our family. Any cures? Yes, there are. Oftentimes when you have a familiar situation that way, it is because of something in the environment or something that you're eating, usually the diet. So it's very important to do that. Okay, Dr. Collier has to take a 2-minute commercial break right here. Okay, Howlett, can you take care of it for a second?
Yes, of course, I can do that. And I have a few things that I want to announce. Everybody, actually, I want to ask you for
None.
your opinion. And yes, Dr. Collier, you want to add something? You're on your call. Okay. So, everybody, I actually want to ask a question that is very important for us as the marketing team for Dr. Collier. We want to give some benefit to the group that is the loyal group, if you want, the people that are actually coming to this show and follow us and comment and being active. But we want to hear from you, so we can come up with some ideas of what type of incentives we can give to you, some extras, some bonuses, again, for being our great followers. But we think the best way would be to ask you. So that's one opportunity. If you want to comment things that you think will help you with your process, things that we can give you as an exclusive incentive for Dr. Collier's followers, best followers, if you want, which is you. So we want to know from you, what exactly do you need extra help from us, extra resources, extra tips, extra discounts, extra incentives, anything that you feel that you need to help you with your process in general of your healthcare, of your weight loss, anything related to the Lipodrops products or communicating with Dr. Collier, please comment, let us know. We will collect these comments and eventually implement them in this show, so you will actually benefit from spending your time with us. We do appreciate that. That's one thing. Second thing that I want to announce is I'm not sure how many of you actually receiving and following Dr. Collier's emails, the daily emails that we're sending. They are full of resources, tips, sometimes extra discount codes for the products of Lipodrops. So I do recommend to follow these emails, to subscribe. If you didn't already, you can do it on the Lipodrops website. And if you did, make sure that you look for these emails in case they go to spam or in case you don't see them. There are emails that are going almost daily, and they're divided to categories. If you're interested in weight loss, if you're interested in vitamins or in immune system in general, if you're interested in keto diet, so we have emails with keto recipes and keto tips and all the process related to it, something that is really beneficial for you guys. And I think you're really gonna like it. And again, we also like to communicate with our close community. So replying to the emails in case you need something or you want resources or you have any ideas that you want us to implement. It's just easier for us to deliver something that you're asking us instead of coming up with general ideas. So any comments about this one will be great here, will be great also on our Facebook group. If you're not a part of that group, it's called Lipo Cares. It's on Facebook. Go there, join the group. A lot of comments. We do want to encourage the community to interact with each other. This is like-minded people, the same process that you go through, other people going through. So you can ask questions over there. Dr. Collier can answer over there directly, not only in this show. And of course, we are open to any suggestions and any things that might help you with your process. So the group, again, it's Lipo Cares. It's on Facebook. We do appreciate your time over there, and we encourage you to go there. And we do ask you to check those emails and subscribe if you didn't do, because there's a lot of value over there with benefits and discount codes and tips and recipes and everything to help you with your process.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We're
Dr.
back
Collier,
live and ready to answer your healthcare questions. Thank you so much for that brief interruption. I apologize. Sometimes doctors have to deal with emergencies. That was one of them. And so fortunately, Havoc was on standby because I was expecting that call. And so hopefully there will be no further interruptions in today's broadcast. So let's get back to the questions, Havoc. Okay, Dwana Black Robson. I did just this with the Lipodrops, adding D3 fish oil and all that's recommended, not a pound. I did just this with the that is a problem. That is indeed that you have not lost a pound. I'm presuming that's what you're saying. That you haven't lost anything yet. The vitamin D is an anti-inflammatory and boosts your immune system. It has nothing to do with the weight loss, and the fish oil is for cardiovascular health. So the Lipodrops themselves are what we're doing. So what I'm recommending, one, is that you take the Lipodrops. You squirt 1 dropper full, hold it under your tongue for 2 minutes, which seems like forever when you're holding liquid in your mouth. But it's very important that you do it long enough to be absorbed. Then swallow it. Do it about 15 minutes before each meal. And then watch your portions. You have to watch. If you're cutting your portion sizes, you will have to lose weight unless you have something, issues going on with your metabolism, like a low thyroid or something. So if that continues, based on what I've just told you, then we need to have that evaluated to make sure there's no other issues as to why you're not dropping. Because what the Lipodrops do is give your body an enhanced ability to metabolize foods in the correct way, not store foods as fat and calories. So you should lose weight, but they don't make you lose weight. They enhance the ability to lose weight. So cutting down the total number of calories that you're taking in. You have to cut your dietary intake by 3,500 calories to lose 1 pound. That's 500 calories a day in most diets that makes you lose 1 pound a week. And that's why they promise you 4 to 5 pounds per month. That is the minimum, regardless of what you're doing, Lipodrops or not. With the Lipodrops, you should be able to easily double that, and it should not be a problem. So if that, please contact us on the website or through the email and let us know, if there's anything we can have further discussion about it. Okay, Ms. Black Robinson, thank you. Let Allen, is there any way to lower your rheumatoid arthritis numbers? Those numbers are basically evaluations of inflammation. And when you have inflammation, you're going to have more symptoms of the rheumatoid arthritis. So you should take natural anti-inflammatories. That would be the first that I recommend, would be the vitamin D, the body's best natural anti-inflammatory. Then omega-3 fish oil, and then other natural anti-inflammatories such as curcumin or turmeric, which comes in capsules, comes in tablets, comes in teas, comes in powders. You can sprinkle it on foods. You can drink it as a tea. There are so many various ways to do it. But what I would also recommend, Ms. Allen, is that you do a blood food allergy test. This is one of the steps that so many people miss because the doctors don't order the test, or everybody expects someone else to order it. But you can literally evaluate your body's response to certain foods with 1 drop of blood. So you go to the doctor, you get your routine blood work order, tell them to do blood allergy testing for food and environment, and then you find out what those things are and you avoid them. But I would also recommend highly probiotics. Probiotics are God's gift to food allergies and food problems. And so you take those capsules once or twice daily. Our Lipobiotic is amazingly good for that because it contains more than one. Some and most of the probiotic products that are available over the counter only have 1 colony of bacteria. All probiotics are good bacteria. That colony should also be measured in the units of billions with a B, not millions with an M. So you should have more than 1 colony. They should be measured by billions of colony forming units or CFUs. And our probiotic product has 7 various types of bacteria in them. That gives you your best opportunity to respond. So let's go back and revisit what I said. The probiotics would be my first choice, then vitamin D, then omega-3 fish oil, then also get food allergy testing so that you can avoid certain foods that are probably causing baseline inflammation in your body and causing you to have the rheumatoid arthritis flares. So although this is going to be a lifelong challenge for you because rheumatoid arthritis is a chronic disease, there is no cure for it. We can only control the symptoms. And unfortunately, a lot of doctors still use old school steroids, which are sometimes necessary. Without question, they are necessary. But there are other newer products that are biologics that can calm down the body's immune response and help with that. There are injectables, there are pills, there are a lot of new ways. So make sure that you're getting state-of-the-art therapy for your rheumatoid arthritis. Great question. Ernest, all right. My blood pressure is consistently around 180/90. How can I lower it? And which is better to take, Bystolic or bisoprolol? Bisoprolol is generic Bystolic. Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure of that, Ernest, because there are 2 medications that are out there like that. And I want to make sure that I'm giving you, because there's Bystolic and there's Corbetalol. Okay, so I think the bisoprolol is the generic Bystolic, and that it is a wonderful product. You have to take it at a therapeutic dose. Bystolic. No, Bystolic is Nebivolol, and it is better than the bisoprolol. Nebivolol, Bystolic. It comes in 5, 10, and 20 milligram doses. It is wonderful, but it's not often 1 pill. And with a blood pressure of 180/90, I can state unequivocally you're going to need 2 to 3 pills or 2 to 3 medications. Some medications will have a minimum of two things in 1 pill. There are medications. There are medications with 3 various things in there, and you can get one of those, or you can get the individual components and take it. But what's important about blood pressure is that you attack it from multiple perspectives. The old school way of treating high blood pressure was to take 1 drug, maximize the dose, and then reluctantly add a second drug. But what happens if you take a drug at such a high dose that usually it pushes your balance in an odd fashion too far in one direction. So what they found out, and what has been determined, that the better practice and the best practice is to take multiple drugs. One lowers your blood pressure by this mechanism, one lowers your blood pressure by this mechanism, and the sum of the two lowers the blood pressure more than either individual product by themselves. Most people need, like I said, 2 to 3 drugs minimum. Some people need 4 or 5, but it's whatever it takes to get it down. 180 is totally and completely unacceptable. That is heart attack and stroke range, and you need to get that top number down to a normal and acceptable range would be 140 or less, over 90 or less. The biostolic is a good choice to start off with, but again, you have to take that at a therapeutic dose. I usually start with 5, stick to 10, and then add something else to the biostolic treatment regimen versus going to 20, because the leap from 10 milligrams to 20 milligrams is not going to give you but another maybe 5 millimeters of mercury drop in your blood pressure. And so I'd rather add something else that's going to give me a 10 or 15 millimeter additional decrease in your blood pressure. And you need to drop your blood pressure 40 points. So that means you can think of it from the perspective of one drug for every 10 millimeters of decrease in your blood pressure. But if you combine the right drugs, you'll get more than a 10 millimeter drop. So that means just, again, it's going to take 2 to 3 drugs to get your blood pressure under control. And that's just the nature of the beast. Embrace the need, the desire, and the concept, and take it from there. All right, Ernest, great question. Faith Ann, oh, I love that name. I've tried intermittent fasting now for 3 weeks and I've only lost 2 pounds. Someone said my stress levels could be up. What can I do to be successful? 1, decrease your stress levels, because that stress hormone cortisol really not only prevents you from losing weight, it makes you gain weight, and usually in the worst areas, it increases that abdominal fat behind the belly. So not the fat that you can pinch an inch of, that's bad enough, but underneath around your organs, you get that intra-abdominal fat. That's what really puts you at high risk for cardiovascular disease, and that's directly associated with the stress hormone cortisol. But let's look at it from this perspective. You've been doing intermittent fasting and you lost 3 pounds versus not losing any, or versus gaining. So that can be a success. The other thing that I recommend for everyone who's interested in weight loss, make sure you're drinking enough water. Most of us do not drink enough water. We think that 8 glasses a day is ideal. Most of us drink less than half of that, but 8 to 10 glasses would be ideal. And if you drink something other than water, a cup of coffee, a beer, a soda, a glass of sweet tea, which I hope you're not drinking, but anything other than water, you also get a glass of water, and you finish that glass of water before you get a refill on whatever your primary liquid is. And if you get a refill on that primary liquid, you also get another glass of water, and you finish that glass of water, and that's 4 glasses right there, and that's probably all the liquid you can tolerate under that circumstance. But that gets you through it. It helps your kidneys clear your body of whatever it is you're drinking other than water, and it helps you lose weight. So that it also gives you a sense of satiety, makes you feel full, so you'll eat less if you have more water in your stomach. And oftentimes we will misinterpret thirst as hunger. And the problem is not that we're hungry. The problem is that we're thirsty. And if we were to just drink something, we wouldn't have to eat and we wouldn't snack so much. So again, be very conscientious and top of mind about your liquid intake. Make sure you're drinking 8 to 10 glasses of water per day. Make sure that when you drink anything other than water, you also get a glass of water to help bring that in. All right, next. Is beetroot juice good for you? Beetroot juice is amazingly good for you. It helps with lowers your blood pressure. It helps with diabetes. It is a great supplement and one that I recommend. So yeah, get your beetroot juice on. That comes in a variety of different preparations. There's a product called Super Beets that I recommend, and like it's a powder you can mix with basically anything, or you can sprinkle on solid foods like salads. You can put it in yogurt. You can put it in applesauce. You have a variety of different ways. But yes, to answer the question, that is a great supplement and one that I recommend. Winnie King, what can you take to boost your energy? One of the best things you can take is B12. And so sublingual B12 drops or dissolvable tablets are one of the key things. But again, make sure that you're doing the easy stuff, that you are eating at least 3 meals per day, so you have gas in your tank and fuel in your engine. 2, make sure you're getting enough rest. Most of us are chronically sleep deprived because we go to bed after midnight and we wake up before 6 a.m. And so we're getting less than those numbers with that. So that is a major problem. Okay. This is Dr. Collier. How may I help you? Okay. All right. Ms. Winnie King, thank you. That's a great question. Ashley Lee, how do I detox my gut? I have very bad acid reflux. One, you need to take probiotics. Two, you need to use a product like my Lipo Cleanse. Both are readily available. We call it the stomach fix or the belly fix. So you take the cleanse 2 a day. You can take 1 in the morning or 1 in the evening. Oh, I'm sorry. You take 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, or 2 in the evening. With a couple of glasses of water to make sure it pushes your gut out, because the stomach and the intestinal tract is one long tube. You have your mouth, your esophagus, your stomach, your small intestines, your large intestines, your sigmoid colon, and your rectum. It is one space. It's just one long tube. The name changes to protect the innocent. So you need to make sure that you are cleaning it, because if you get backed up anywhere, particularly in the large intestines, then you're going to start to have foul breath. Your stomach will be bloated, sticking out. You have bubble gut. You just have a continuous and uncomfortable awareness of your GI tract, and you should not have that from that perspective. Okay, Havlik, I need you to take over for another second. And mute me.
I got it. So we have a
Hello, this is Dr. Collier.
special. Let me see 1 second. There you go. So we got a special show. Dr. Collier is very busy, obviously, but that's okay. So I do see some of your comments. You're asking a lot of discounts for the Lipodrops products. One thing that I did mention, I'll mention again. We do have emails that support our community, and we do give every once in a while some discount codes over there. So I recommend checking those emails and subscribing if you're not there yet. Dr. Collier, back to you.
Apologize to all the viewers and listeners this evening. Sometimes doctors have to do doctor work, and that's what we are with that. And hopefully we won't have any more interruptions. But if it happens again, it just happens. It's what I do. Don't apologize for giving good health care. Sometimes you have to deal with real-time issues, and sickness doesn't stop at 5 p.m. So very good. So go to the website, lipodrops.com, get more information about colon cleansing, the belly fix, all those things. The questions that you're asking can be answered. Of course, you can always reach us by email, and we'd be happy to respond to that. And then, of course, tune in to the Facebook Live on every second and fourth Wednesdays, and we'll be happy to answer your healthcare questions. Next question. Okay. Maqueda Rucker Morris. Oh, Maqueda. Thank you, sir. I hope I'm pronouncing your name all right. I just finished my 10-year tamoxifen regimen. Should I expect any side effects? No, and congratulations. That means you are cancer-free and you have completed the post. It can be from 5 to 10 years. You have completed. So applause. I'm going to have to get one of those applause buttons. I matched it. It goes, so that is great. So no, you shouldn't expect any side effects. As a matter of fact, you should just embrace and enjoy your good health, because you are a survivor. You have done well, but don't celebrate by doing the wrong things. Make sure that you're eating healthy. Make sure that you're getting enough rest, and that would be ideally 8 hours of sleep per night. But no adult that I know that works for a living is getting 8 hours of sleep. Possibly on the weekend. Most of us are lucky if we get 6. So I would say 6 to 8 hours of good rest. Eat healthy. Make sure you're eating at least 3 meals per day, and that that the majority of the food on your plate has color. That means fruits and veggies, and that occupies at least half of your plate, and the rest by a protein source such as chicken or fish. And so I would also recommend taking supplements. The vitamin D is excellent. A vitamin D level of 60 or higher helps protect you from various cancers, pancreatic cancer, colon cancer, breast cancer, all those things. And it's a very simple and elegant regimen, because it's just a vitamin. It's not even medication. So vitamin D at a dose of 5,000 international units per day. I would take probiotics every day, and I would take omega-3 fish oil. This is a regimen that Dr. Collier recommends. This is a regimen that Dr. Collier takes every day himself, and I'm hoping that it's giving me good health. I don't have any chronic health problems, no high blood pressure, no diabetes, not taking any prescription medications, just taking those supplements that I mentioned. And so those are things that I recommend for good health. So Dr. Collier's Healthy Trio is available on the website. Go to lipodrops.com and optimize your health. Thank you, and good luck. Okay. My wife has a fibroid the size of a newborn baby head. What options does she have besides hysterectomy? Okay, Dennis, great options exist. There is a process called UFE, uterine fibroid embolization, and that is an outpatient procedure. And so what happens is you go to the doctors that do this, and amazingly enough, the doctors that do it are usually radiologists, not OBGYN doctors. And so an interventional radiologist will do that. Here in the center of Atlanta, we have a great one that you could go to, Dr. John Lipman. You can Google him, Lipman, Lipman, and look for uterine fibroid embolization. This is a procedure that what they do, they inject some microscopic beads into the artery that supplies the blood supply to the fibroid. So the fibroid is no longer getting a blood supply. It dies off, it shrinks, it liquefies and sloughs off is what they call that procedure. All fibroids are not eligible for this. So you have to have a diagnostic test, either a CT scan, but usually an MRI that tells you exactly where the fibroid is located and the fibroid's blood source. But if you are eligible for it, it is a great option to do so. You can also just have the fibroid removed if possible. Sometimes the fibroid is pedunculated, and that means it's like a mushroom. It has a tiny base and a big body. So you can just clip the base and the fibroid is free. If the fibroid it does not have that, if it's more like, say, a melon that's cut in half, then you might have to, if it's too big and it takes up too much space in the uterus, then hysterectomy is your only option. So those are, but most OBGYNs in particular won't tell you about UFE because they don't perform the procedure. And doctors treat disease states the way that they were trained to treat them. And so if that treatment regimen is not in their armamentarium, they're going to tell you that your options are the things that they do. It's highly unusual for a doctor to say, well, I could do it this way, but I'm going to send you to another doctor who does it another way. That just doesn't happen. So you have to be your own advocate. So look up UFE, uterine fibroid embolization. You can look up Dr. John Lipman and find out more information about this. And he is in the city of Atlanta, but there are doctors across the country that do this procedure. He was one of the pioneers and has been doing it for probably 20 years now. He initiated what's called the White Pants Initiative. And in that White Pants Initiative, it allowed women with fibroids who normally have very heavy menstrual flow, the ability to wear white pants. And so they didn't have to wear, dark clothes by being concerned about having breakthrough bleeding and soiling their clothes and embarrassing themselves. So he started that White Pants Initiative, and it has been very, very successful in doing so. So Dr. John Lipman, tell him Dr. Collier sent you and get that information. Just give him a call. Thank you, Dennis. Great question. Denise Irby states, is it safe to take Metamucil every day? Yes, it is. Metamucil is just fiber, and it comes, as long as you're taking it at the recommended dose, all it does is make you have large, easy to pass bowel movements. Metamucil is not a laxative. It is just fiber. So all it does is slow down the reabsorption of fluid from the large intestines, and that will do it. I would recommend that you add probiotics to that treatment regimen so that you are getting good bacteria to colonize your intestines. There's a mixture of good and bad bacteria. The bad bacteria are what make your bowels smell foul. Those are anaerobic bacteria, and the anaerobes are the ones that really smell bad. And so if you can get more aerobic bacteria now, which is a good bacteria, you'll notice that you have less fragrant stools. And so when you go to the bathroom, it doesn't smell bad. It doesn't smell good, but it doesn't smell just foul. So that's one of the things I recommend. You can do that by taking probiotic capsules like the Lipobiotic, or you can do that by eating something like yogurt every day. Greek style yogurt has good bacteria in it, and it will it's a great thing to have as a part of your regimen. I try to either take the probiotics daily or eat yogurt, or both sometimes. I had yogurt for breakfast this morning, and I've also taken probiotic capsule today. So again, good for GI and immune health, highly recommended. But Metamucil is a decent option. There are better sources of fiber. However, there are tablets called FiberCon. There's my Lipo Cleanse product, but Metamucil isn't a bad option either. Okay, great question, Denise. Veronica ain't taking no more stuff, Wallace. Why are my nails turning brown? Oftentimes when your nails turn brown, it's just hyperpigmentation, and it gets more efficient as we age. If you're African American, particularly if you're darker skinned, if you smile and you see your gums and your gums are not pink, they're gray, that means you have higher pigment levels than other African Americans. And so it is a normal function. It's not pathological in any way. It's just the way they look. And so if they're turning brown like that, then you just it also could be if they're turning a lighter shade of brown and you don't have the gray gums versus the pink gums, then it could be that your nails are responding to polish. You might need to give your nails a break and allow them to grow out naturally versus putting various multiple shades or the artificial nails, the SNSs on there, etc. But if you're having the same issue with your toenails as your fingernails, and you're not doing those things with your toenails, then chances are it's just hypopigmentation, and it doesn't mean anything pathological. Okay. Brenda Hopgood, good evening. What is the name of the test cake you can take that can take many kinds of cancers? There are two, and the Google blood test that can detect cancers. I'll see if I can pull it up quickly. I'm going to go to my reference here. Because I did take the Gallery, Galleri test. Galleri. They have a full website, but just Google Gallery blood testing for cancer detection. And once you do that, also it's going to open up several options. There's another type of test that also utilizes artificial intelligence or AI. And that's where the computer basically looks at all the different possible scenarios and comes up with a diagnosis based on probabilities. Again, that's reasonable and good, and it's good science, but a better science is a positive test or a negative test. And the Galleri test gives you a positive test or a negative test. You had a cancer, you don't have a cancer. Now, it's not 100%. It can say you don't have a cancer and you do. You got one of those 50 that's not testing for. Or I can say that you do have it and you do further additional testing and find out that it was a false positive. But chances are, if it comes out positive, there's a 70% chance that it actually is positive. And if you get additional testing and it's not confirmed, maybe a couple of years down the road, it will become confirmed, because this test is so ahead of the game as far as diagnosing cancer is concerned that sometimes the follow-up confirmatory tests are slow and behind. So if I got that test and it was positive, then I'd be really concerned about acting upon some early treatments, because that is the whole point of the test: early diagnosis and early treatment. Every cancer that exists is easier to cure, easier to treat, and has better outcomes the earlier it is diagnosed and the earlier treatment is implemented, including surgical excision. That's the best treatment. You cut the cancer out. But if it cannot be, if it's some places that cannot be surgically removed, or it's an organ that you must have, then you want to make sure that you're doing those things that can alter that cancer. And now the therapies of cancer, that is for diagnosing cancer. The therapies of cancer are also, now there are smart bomb biological treatments that take your own body's white blood cells and make them target cancer cells. So your normal cells are not negatively impacted, just the cancer cells. And that's the way that you want to treat a cancer. All right, great question, Brenda. Carol Craig. Okay, when laying down, your body feels restless. Why is that so? Variety of reasons. Could be stress, could be anxiety. There's a condition called restless leg syndrome, but it's not just in your legs. Sometimes it's your arms and the rest of your body, as you so eloquently stated. Again, sometimes it's because you're sleep deprived. Sometimes that can be because you have a hyperthyroidism. There are multiple reasons that condition could exist, and there are multiple ways to approach it depending upon the diagnosis. It can be everything from anti-anxiety medications, antihistamines. There are antispasmodics that can be utilized if you're having cramps and spasms. If there are also medications that are just made specifically for restlessness. Including if it is just true restlessness, sometimes a sleeping aid, a sleeping pill could help with that. So, Carol, you need to partner with your primary care physician to get to the bottom of why you're feeling that way, to make sure that you address whatever the particular pathological disease state is, and then that's the best way to address it, because it could be something that really needs to be treated, but you take a heavy dose sleeping pill and it makes you sleep through it, so you're not having the symptom, and so you say, okay, fine, no problem, I'm sleeping now, but you haven't really addressed the real primary issue. And that's why it's very important to get the appropriate diagnosis, because the vast majority of the time it is nothing, but it can be something on occasion. Okay, great question. Tam Scorpio's finest West. Okay. I had a coworker die of a blood clot in his leg. How could this possibly happen when he stands and does a bit of walking on the job? He's a pharmacy technician. Did complain of pain in his legs often. Well, because he was a pharmacy technician and on his feet often, he probably ended up getting a clot. He needed to wear some compression socks or stockings that come at least over the calf levels. And so this is a problem for people that stand on their feet. It's also a problem for people that sit for extended periods of time. If you work at a desk and you're not getting up at least every 2 hours to move around, you need to do just that. You also need to wear over the calf compression socks so that there's no space that holds pressure in the veins so it cannot hold blood. Blood is great as long as it is moving, but when blood stops moving, it does what blood does, which is clot. And so if the blood is not moving because of it's collecting via gravity, or you're not moving, or you're sitting, or a long road trip, sometimes long airplane flights, long train rides, long bus trips, long car trips. If you're in the car and you're driving 4 or 5 hours trying to get to your destination, and particularly even if you're driving, you're using your feet usually, but if you're a passenger, you're at very high risk in doing so. So I tell if you're taking a road trip of any type, if you're flying on an airplane, you get up, you move around after 2 hours, you take a few laps up and down the aisle of the airplane. I will go to the area where the restrooms are and do some some crunches and some sit-ups, so to speak, something, squats rather, not sit-ups, squats. I won't lay down on the plane on the floor, but yeah, but something to get your legs moving. If you just standing in position and going up to the ball of your feet and standing on your tiptoes and just doing that in a regimented manner, that will keep the blood moving out of your legs. But unfortunately, your friend and your coworker was, he was at risk. Might have had some blood clotting disorders and need to make sure that that is an issue. For people, if you consider you think you're susceptible to that, a low dose aspirin, 81 milligrams per day, will also help prevent clots like that. And so one of the good reasons to do that, you don't have to take one of these expensive blood thinners. These blood thinners, Pradaxa and others, are causing some of the most expensive medications that insurance companies are paying for, and they're the number one most prescribed drugs. People are taking these medications because doctors are ordering them for them, and and you can get the same benefit sometimes from just an 81 milligram dose aspirin. That is the low dose. They used to say baby aspirin, now they say low dose. The standard dose for an aspirin is 325 milligrams. An extra strength aspirin or extra strength Tylenol is 500 milligrams. Tylenol does not give you that same benefit. It does not stop clotting. Tylenol is an anti-pain. It is not an anti-inflammatory. So it has to be aspirin. It has to be aspirin to get that benefit. Low dose, 81 milligrams, bear, something like that will do it. But a generic aspirin will give you the same benefit. Okay, next. Don Malone says, good evening. I have sleep apnea. I would like to eliminate in the near future. I just received my script for Wegovy, which you suggest to start Lipodrops first. Can both be taken together? Yes, they can both be taken together. No contraindication of doing so. The Wegovy will decrease your appetite, and the Lipodrops will help you metabolize the foods that you do eat in a more efficient manner. And weight loss, the number one treatment for sleep apnea, because it's usually obstructive sleep apnea. That means you have in the back of your throat, if you open your mouth and look down, the tissue there is compromising the airway. And as you lose weight, that airway goes from being this closed to opening up this way. So you now have a much better way to move air back and forth, and you're not doing that snoring that's called tent flapping. So it's not just that you're snoring, you're going like that. And when you have that, you definitely have an obstructive component, and weight loss, number one therapy for that. And so the Wegovy will definitely do it. Make sure that you titrate up to the highest dose that you can tolerate for the Wegovy. Thank you. Okay, Kathy Davis Kendrick. Is it safe to take the Lipodrops and the keto pills? Absolutely. One of the things that we recommend, the Keto Max and the Lipodrops, will remember what I said earlier in the process, that weight loss is a couple of things. Number one, how much you want to lose. Number two, how quickly you'd like to lose it. So using both products give you a greater weight loss in a shorter period of time. And they work from different mechanisms. So the keto pills place your body in an artificial ketosis, which is basically the basis of the Atkins diet or the keto diet that you've been hearing so much about for the past few years. Very effective, very efficient in weight loss. And then again, the Lipodrops make you lose the weight by altering your body's metabolism of food products. So combination is great. It's what I call my most aggressive diet plan, the Lipodrops, the Keto Max, as well as the intermittent fasting or the eating 5 meals per day. Either one works wonderfully, and that will optimize your weight loss. If you want to just take the full plunge, take the probiotics as well as the lipo cleanse, that will keep your stomach flat, stop you from having a bulging abdomen, and just again make you have weight loss in the correct way. Okay, great question. Pamela Miller, is there a downside to drinking seltzer water? No, I actually recommend seltzer water. It actually has benefits. Seltzer water is good. An alkaline water is good as well. Seltzer water, as a matter of fact, can help with cramping. What I recommend, however, versus pure seltzer water or soda water, is quinine water, tonic water. That's the tonic that you use when you're making a cocktail, gin and tonic, vodka tonic, etc. It comes in several brands. It's in the grocery stores, Canada Dry, Seagram's brand tonic water. You can drink 6 ounces of that. It is very good for a variety of things, but it also helps relax your muscles and stops you from having leg cramps at night. Quinine was a very good product. You used to be able to get quinine tablets, but they took them off the market. And actually, I had a naturopath, a physician that practiced natural cures and remedies, tell me that the tonic water, which has quinine in it, gives you that same benefit, and it's readily available. So yeah, so I do recommend it. You can drink it straight. You can drink it with a lemon or lime to give it a little flavor. It does not taste bad, but lemon and lime gives it a more like a Spritey sort of a Mountain Dewish taste. So that's a good supplement to take. I do recommend that. Great question, Pam. Donna Butler, are there any good protein bars to eat? Yes, there are, but you got to watch the amount of sugar in a protein bar and the amount of protein. Some protein bars have as little as 10 grams of protein. Others have up to 30. You want to get at least between 25 and 30 of those protein bars. You want to get that much, but you want to make sure you're not getting a lot of sugar and artificial sweeteners in them. Some of the most popular bars are basically just candy bars, and they don't have any substantive amount of protein in them. But there are good brands. The Walmart brand is very good, and it's not that expensive. And it has 25 to 30 grams of protein in each bar. And that is basically a meal substitute, and that gives you enough protein to stimulate weight loss. So you can use that. I will oftentimes take a protein bar and a cup of coffee for my breakfast, and that gives you enough. It gives you enough fuel to get through the morning, and then I may have a snack, say around 10, 11 o'clock, and then lunch later, 1 or 2. And that's a good way to keep your metabolism up and keep your weight down. Next question. Yvette Wilson, what is a good drug to help with weight loss? Well, there are multiple prescription medications. Non-prescription drugs would be my Lipodrops, my Keto Max tablets, the Belly Fix, which is probiotics, as well as the Lipo Cleanse product to keep your colon empty. All of those are good ways to do it, and they're all non-prescription. The first line prescription medication for weight loss is a appetite suppressant called metformin. There are medications that used to be prescription that are now over the counter. One is the fat blocker / binder that you take. It helps keep fat out of your system and the calories associated with that fat. So it makes you lose the fat in a large bowel movement. But if you eat too much fat, it will give you explosive diarrhea. So again, one that probably to be avoided. And then the new medications, the injectables, the Saxena, which is a daily injection, the Ozempic, which is a once-a-week injection, which is technically for diabetes the exact same medication by a different name, indicated for weight loss only. Is called Wegovy. It's literally the exact same medication made by the same people. They just decided to give the Wegovy. It's a slightly different dosing regimen, but the Wegovy has only a weight loss indication. And then the Mounjaro, which is a diabetes medication as well. So if you happen to have diabetes and you need to lose weight, the Ozempic and the Mounjaro are great options for you as well. And so all resulting in dramatic weight loss. The Mounjaro, as a matter of fact, gives you weight loss that is the equivalent to having had gastric bypass surgery or gastric sleeve. That's up to 30 pounds for every 100 pounds that you're overweight. So that is a dramatic weight loss and with no risk as far as surgical options are concerned. With surgery, you got the risk of surgery itself, the risk of anesthesia, and the recovery time post-operatively. You take those shots, you're going to lose the same amount of weight or more, and with minimal risk. Your only risk is if you cannot tolerate the medication. If you can't, you just don't take any more shots. Enough said from that perspective. Okay. That was our final question. Thank you so much, Havoc. We appreciate you, and we appreciate all of the listeners tuning in this evening. We want to thank you for thinking of us every second and fourth Wednesday. And just remember, your health is important. Tune in as we go. We want you to remember that I am your medical ready reference, Dr. MJ Collier, and we are here, Facebook Live, every second and fourth Wednesday of every month, answering your healthcare questions. Remember to go to the website, lipodrops.com, to get all the information that you need in reference to weight loss and maintaining your health. Remember Dr. Collier's Healthy Trio. That is the probiotics, the vitamin D, and the omega-3 fish oil. Take them on a daily basis, and you will optimize your healthcare status. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Havoc, for screening calls. We greatly appreciate you. Okay, everyone have a great evening.